So I'm not trained. I'm just a wandering eye around looking at things and being happy. That's it. I'm very happy doing it. It's something that opened up my life. It helped me a lot, gave me a lot of happiness. And it's not like a homework because as I'm an older person, I don't rely on photography for a living also. So it's an easier way of taking photo. It's a photography for fun.
Welcome back to Photo Country, where we feature inspiring stories of photographers around the world. It has been a long time since I did my last episode. I fell into a creative rut, and now I am finding my way back into the world of photography and podcasting. So in my comeback episode, we talked to Sandra Cattaneo Adorno, an Italian photographer and artist, who I talked to earlier as well. She's an inspiration and is someone who does not shy away from experimenting. She is someone who is a role model for artists around the world, that age is just a number and art is about happiness. She has some absolute gems in this interview, like this one I love. I want to train my eye. I don't want to get new cameras. So without further ado, here is Sandra Cattaneo Adorno talking about photography, art, and her latest exhibition, Fragments of Light, at the Venice Biennale this year.
So thanks, Sandra, for joining me in this podcast.
Hello, Rajeev. Thank you very much. Very nice seeing you.
Yes, we spoke about a year or so back. Am I right?
Yes, I think so.
Right. So how's been your journey since then? The last time I spoke to you, it was about your Venice show.
So it was 24, and I did the show to celebrate 10 years of my career. And I showed prints on black paper with metallic gold ink because it was a celebration. So gold for me is celebration. It's like Brazilian carnival. So, and this time I wanted to do another experiment with silver ink, metallic ink. And it was very funny because it's very different. The feeling is very different. I would say that the gold is warmer, but the silver, there's more reflection. So it's depending on where you look at the picture, you have more or less reflection. If, for example, in the exhibition, I tilted all the pictures to the sun, like sunflowers, looking to capture the sun to get more light. So if you get more sun, or if you're in one position or the other, depending on the light of the room, they reflect very much. And it was a surprise to do it with silver ink. And I thought first of doing it on black paper, but then I didn't want to repeat the same thing. And I thought it would be much more traditional doing it on black paper. And I wanted the monochromatic feeling, but a little bit a spin on it. And so I got this, we did these experiments on dark blue paper. So it's a little bit different than a black and white picture. But it is a black and white picture, but with a little bit of something different. So it was very nice to do it. And it was also interesting that certain pictures work much better when you do it with this technique. Some pictures that I like very much, but they don't translate so well. And some others that are sometimes simple pictures. There was one in particular that I took in Santa Monica that was a very simple picture of a lady walking, but because of the shadows, it's a very interesting picture with the silver ink. So it was funny. It was a process of learning and experimenting. So it was very nice.
I actually liked the way you presented the pictures because when you sent me this, I was expecting a big book, but when it arrived in a small envelope like this, it's very tactile,
Yeah.
and it's like flashcards. It's really different.
Yeah. And in the exhibition, these are on black, but this was because we had done the first experiment on black, but then we changed for the exhibition for it to be on dark blue paper. So it's a little bit different than what you have.
Okay. And it's, to me, looks to me like almost it's like negatives.
Yes, it's because it keeps only the essential of the picture. So it's a fun thing to do because you see pictures in another way. If you see it on paper, a normal printed picture, and you see it like that, it has a different feeling and some essential things come out. And so you're not so distracted with the small little details of a normal picture. So that's why some work better than others.
It just strips away the details.
Yes, it strips away the details. So it's more abstract. It abstracts the picture. Because my thing is, I don't want to continue to be doing always the same thing. I want to be trying to experiment and invent something because there's so many wonderful pictures, past and present. So I want to continue to do my picture, but try to do something a little bit different, another way of showing it, another way of perceiving photographs. So that's what I'm trying to develop.
Right. And when you take photographs, taking the photographs only part of the process that you have,
Yeah.
right? Ultimately, the way it translates to the final picture is going to be totally different.
Yeah. So I do a big batch of many to see which ones work better. And so this exhibition was about the main purpose that I wanted to translate in this exhibition was how do you perceive images, photographs? So it was giving the viewer many different ways of looking at the photograph. So first, the video. When you get in, there's a big video screen. It's on silver also. On silver, the screen is silver to have a shimmer. And these photos, they melt, and then they are born again. And so that's one visual way of looking at photographs. Then you get into the main room and you see the print. There are 13 prints. And then you have the one print that I did also in California that is printed on cloth. So that these are the panels of the curtains that I did in 74 also. In 74, I did another type of curtain, one that opens like this, a more conventional. This one were panels, like more Japanese, more abstract kind of more clean kind of look. And then in the middle of the room, there's a photo mosaic where I cut the picture in many different pieces. And from one place, you can see it all together. If you're in another place, you see everything like that. In one place, it comes together. And that was an experiment that the architect that I worked with me, he was the one who gave the idea to do it. And until the end, we didn't know if it would work or not. So it was a leap of faith, that one, because it's difficult to do that because you have to cut it in the same way and then it has to be put. The trick is the person who puts it on the floor so you can see it from one place. So it's not easy. And he had this other idea on the back of it to put mirrors. So the mirrors reflect all the room and also the canal. So it's very beautiful because from this side you see the picture and the other side you see the reflection of everything that is in the room. So it was I loved the architect's idea. It was very good.
And how did you get this idea of printing in different types of inks and abstracting your pictures?
It came to me when I saw this. There was a little book this size that, for, I don't know, very chance I saw it. And it was printed in silver. And I don't remember who it was from. And then I had this idea. It was many years ago. And then I wanted to do the gold experiment. Looking at that, I said, oh, this is a great, let me do this experiment and see. And then we had to try many people to see who would do it. So it was a process because you can do it in small format, but then for books, but for you to do it in a bigger format, it was difficult to find someone that would do it. So we found someone here in Italy.
Is it a special printing process?
Yeah, it's offset. So it's like a book. So my book is printed, my book 10 years, it's printed in the same way as the picture. So, but now I don't know, I want to do another book. And my fifth book, I'm thinking about it and I want to know what am I going to invent. So I don't know where to go now.
Tell me something. Do you have all the books that you've done? Are they all experiments?
They're all experiments in a different way, yes.
Yeah, the thing that I like about your photographs is its abstraction and the way it strips away the details, and it's almost anonymizes the
Yes,
subjects,
exactly.
And I like the negative look of it. People usually expect a lot of detail and color, and this
Exactly.
totally like reverses that expectation.
Yes, exactly. It's because I want to try to do something different, not something that was done already. And I love the fact of experimenting. For example, my publisher, David Chickie of Radius, he's someone who loves when I get there. It's in Santa Fe, and I go there with him, and I put my pictures. And he also, for the books, he's very experimental and he loves to do new things. So my books are always on an accordion that comes out or another one that flip-flops on. He loves also to do something different. And I love to work with him because he likes to explore something that, wasn't seen very much. And so for me, it's a great week when I go to Santa Fe to sit down with him because he has that mind also that likes to do something different. So I connect very well with him.
Right. And I did see some double exposures, or is it just the effect of the photograph?
There's some that are reflections. Most of them are reflections. But some I did there are few, like in the exhibition, I think there's only one. In the exhibition, all of them are reflections minus one. That is one that I did on Photoshop, that I put two prints together on Photoshop. So, and in the book, Scatti di Tempo, also, most of them are reflections. But there's like 10 or 15% of the book that are done on Photoshop that I put two pictures together and mix them. Two of my pictures together and mix them to have this more a stranger look. But it's very funny because as reflections are very crazy because I do reflections on, let us say, the metal. There's one, for example, on the metal of the car. So the reflection is all rounded. So you never know if it's Photoshop or reflection because they are very similar in a way. It's like that dream world, a world that is not here. So it's something that I like to experiment. For example, also is to put these things. I don't like AI. I'm very against AI in photography. But I like if I use my own pictures for me to experiment with them and put them together and try to dissolve one into the other and see what comes out. That I like. But they are my pictures and it's not something artificial, So I think there's a lot you can do with your own things.
Right. And what's your process like? When you take photographs, do you think of the output in mind or do you look for silhouettes?
I don't have, it's funny, I had a wonderful teacher who told me that he was taught and he told me it would be good for me to do that, to go out of the house with something in my mind and capture specific things. I cannot do it. I'm a very fast photographer. I look at things. I see so many things. It's incredible. So I do a lot of shots. In 2 hours, I do 2,000 shots. It's an amazing amount that my eye can see, but I never have specifics. I just look at interesting things. Normally, it's connected with light. I'm very guided to light and shades. My eye goes there always. I like a lot of contrast. I like a lot of color. And that's where my eye goes. But I don't have something specific. I don't. I can't do it. Maybe it would be more productive if I went out and got only what I need for a project, would be more. But I can't. So I have a lot of work to edit everything. It's a big amount of things. And then choose the ones. And from the ones that then I go back and I see, okay, what's the project I want? And then I experiment. I print a lot of pictures that I think are possible, and then I begin to narrow down. But it's much more work the way I do it, I think. But I can't do it in another way. Also because I came to photography by intuition. I never had I had workshops that I went to. So 1 week workshop with someone, 1 week workshop with someone else, but I never had the proper education in photography. So I'm not trained. I'm just a wandering eye around looking at things and being happy. That's it. I'm very happy doing it. It's something that opened up my life. It helped me a lot, gave me a lot of happiness. And it's not like a homework because as I'm an older person, I don't rely on photography for a living also. So it's an easier way of taking photo. It's a photography for fun. It's because I like it and I enjoy it. And I come back laughing and very happy and very interested in looking at them in the computer. But it's a different way of if I were younger. I had gone to school. I had more pressure to earn money and to produce, and it's a different ball game. It's very different when someone is 60 years old and begins as a hobby, as something with my daughter to have fun. So I'm in a more comfortable zone. So that's why I also don't have an objective. I don't take it so seriously. I just go have fun, get the pictures, and then I sit down and reduce and separate and see what works. I wouldn't say it's good for someone that is younger. It's only that works for me.
It's great to have such a serious hobby as you grow older. It keeps your brain alive and active as well.
It's very good. There are many things. You have to have split-second decisions because if not, you lose the picture. So your brain has to be very in that zone. Then the other thing, it connects you with the world, with everyone around you. Before, I wasn't connected. I had an appointment here. I went with a transportation to there and then there, and I didn't look around me. I just went. I did my thing. Now I'm in the street and I'm looking at pictures. I'm looking at interactions of families, of two friends talking, of someone smoking. I'm looking at the world around me, which is very good. It was an enormous gain for me because I wasn't looking, I was just passing. So there's a lot of good things. Apart from that, the exercise that you do because you have to walk and bend down and go up and down, take the picture. So that's also very good. So there's a lot of good things about taking photography in later years.
Interestingly, I'm running a workshop right now for a bunch of people that I'm teaching beginner photography. And most of the time when I start these workshops, they're so obsessed with their cameras. When they start photography, they think everything is all about the camera. And
I'm nothing about the camera. I'm very bad technically. I'm really bad. I never learned. I don't know how to do things. Sometimes I can't even repeat what I did. Sometimes there's a picture that I took. I can't find it again. So it's nothing to do with the camera. It has to do with your eye. And I think there has maybe, for me, I think what helped was that I saw a lot of art during my years. Not photography, because I didn't know any photographers or anything about photography. But I did go to a lot of museums since I was very small. So, and I looked at a lot of pictures. So I think maybe, which I don't even know if it's true, that gets into the brain and it helps you. It influences. For example, I see that I do not connect when I see my pictures, I look at them and I can connect them more with a picture, with a painter, than with a photographer. Because I'm not so familiar with photographers, and it's not something that I was brought up with. With a painter, sometimes I can see it's not that it looks like the painter, it has the feeling of the painter. It's a very strange thing. It's a feeling. Oh, this feels like, I don't know, it feels like it. So that's what, but it's all to do with your eye. If you can see things, but I agree with you. They always ask, what's my camera? Mine is a very old camera. I always use the same because I cannot be bothered to learn a second one. So I'm I am not going to be, it would be great if I had the last, I don't know what. I don't want the last, I don't want. I have my old camera. It's exactly the same camera since the beginning. And I don't want to learn anything. I want to learn is my eye. I want to train my eye. I don't want to get new cameras.
Yes. So, what would be a message for someone who's just starting out in photography?
I don't know. I think, first of all, enjoy it. Be curious, always curious. Let your brain wander and have joy doing it. I don't know. That's it. I don't have a recipe because I'm not the normal photographer who did this all his life. It's a different, for me, I have a different way of looking at this. Even whatever is the project that I want to do, I want to keep always very curious. And I try to look at a lot of exhibitions, paintings, which is what I like. For example, I sometimes just get a plane to Paris because I want to see, there are 5 exhibitions that I want to see. Now I booked my plane because I have a Calder and a Monet exhibition that I need to see. So I do not want to miss these amazing things. And look at books with images. That helped. For me, it helped a lot. I think that helped a lot.
So, you think for one to get better at photography, we need to look at other types of art like painting?
I think for me, it helps because you have to look at everything, all types of art, photography included, but also other art, because then you can maybe do something more abstract, try to go somewhere else. These ideas come also from other types of art, I think. So it works for me. I don't know if it works for the other. I don't know.
What's your favorite artist
Oh, I have millions.
from a painting perspective?
So I love, Rembrandt. I love Vermeer. I love the old masters, Van Dyck. I love old masters. But I also love the modern. I love the Impressionists because of the light, how they use the light. So Impressionists are very good for photographers, I think, because you see how they use light. And then all the modern ones also, because they bring something else. I was just now in Amsterdam, so I looked at a lot of Van Goghs, and it was wonderful, and it was fabulous to look at them. So it's everything. For example, Turner, that did pictures so many years ago, and this thing that Turner used so much of light in his pictures. So all of them have something that I think is very interesting. I think you capture a lot of different things from them. Like looking at books of photographers helps a lot also because you have different styles. And it's very interesting to see how each one sees the world. Completely different. They're completely different and very interesting.
So, the photographs that you've done in your latest exhibition, is it available as a book?
No, I didn't do a book. with these photographs because I thought it was a little bit of a repetition of the gold process. So I didn't want to repeat another book similar. I'm going to do a book, hopefully next year, touch wood, but I want to do something different. Then I'll maybe exhibit it in the other Biennale in 28.
And are these available as prints? Can someone buy it?
Yes, I have a gallery that represents me in New York, Robert Mann. And so he's the one who takes care of that part because it's not a part that I like to take care of. So I have more time to do my pictures. So you have to contact Robert Mann Gallery in New York, and then he gives you the options. He has a lot of my pictures, and he can show you online which ones you prefer.
Awesome. Thanks, Sandra. Thanks for coming on this podcast. You're always an inspiration because
Thank you.
you experiment a lot. And I love looking at your pictures because
Thank you
it's
very
something which is really different from the usual stuff that you see online.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm trying to do
And I
something.
especially love the negative
Look,
look
yeah,
that it has
yes.
and the way you actually presented it as well, giving me a lot of ideas.
Thank you. Very good. That's it. All of us, we need ideas.
That was Sandra Cattaneo Adorno. Head over to her website, sandracataneoadorno.com. Check out her latest work and her books. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will be back soon with an interview with a photographer who's also a member of a heavy metal band. He goes by the name Snap Thrash. Interesting, right? Yep. Photo Country is the place where you will get to hear interesting conversations with interesting artists. Stay safe and keep clicking, and thank you for listening.